Hello and welcome to the Block Empire's weekly update. As you can see, I'm here by myself today. No one showed up, but I can't really blame them. I kind of did it at a weird time and didn't really give them a whole lot of time to respond. Mostly because I had like a huge toothache for a large portion of the latter half of the night, and it's been pretty awful and still is. Because of that, unfortunately, well, it is ended up as you see it. Due to other issues, however, I don't really have a whole lot to report this week. You'll see on the back of the screen here in just a moment what we have been up to, and hopefully that will suffice and keep you rather enthused for our projects in the future, and hopefully get you motivated to maybe come out here and help us. But getting right into it, I guess, with what we do have, I've been hard at work with quite a few things. We've been getting special mobs together for block empires, and it's going to be pretty interesting, I think. As you can see, we'll start with the first one. I have made rats. Yes, rats. Rats are going to be a very interesting thing. You know, they're kind of an iconic staple for a lot of RPGs out there. You know, they're a person's first quest, as it were. Go into the basement, kill the rats, right? They are typically very, very fearful of players and various other monsters, and will do their best to avoid them. However, if you back a rat into a corner, you might just find that they have teeth, and very sharp ones at that. That is just as true in block empires as it is anywhere else. In fact, if you happen to get onto a rat too much, you might find that his friends will resent that, and you might find yourself facing a rat swarm. It's a very dangerous situation to be in. Most veteran adventurers won't have to worry about it too much, but you know, it's still not something you want to have to deal with, especially considering that rats are actually fairly difficult to kill. Well, not kill, but hit. You know, they have those little tiny bodies, and they're so quick, and they dart under things so fast. It's rather tough. I guess the next big thing that we're working on, I've tested this one quite a lot, and I personally enjoy it a large amount. The first victim to fall victim to these was Sneaky Agent, who teleported me and said, "Hey," and I said, "Hey, do you want to see these?" And he said, "Yes." And so I toggled him out of GM mode, made him fall into the ocean with sharks! Sharks! Look at them, they're amazing. The sharks, in particular, are one of my more favorite additions to block empires. They may look a little derpy, but they are very vicious and very ferocious. And one of the reasons I'm very happy with them is because they are going to make the waters and oceans unsafe. They will never be safe again. In previous editions of Minecraft, as well as block empires, water was completely safe. If you ever had a problem, you just go into water. It's done. No mobs are going to follow you there. Players in general are also going to have a hard time floating after you. It's not fun for anybody, so most people would avoid it. And generally speaking, it's very nice as a getaway option for when you're facing lots of different kinds of mobs. Well, no longer, because the mobs live in the water now. And they are quite the awful little buggers. As you can see, they are tearing apart my test subjects, which are my zombie villagers, and they deal quite a bit of damage, especially when they're in groups. They are very ferocious. They attack generally just about anything they can get their hands on. They might not necessarily be as sharkish as they are piranha-ish, I suppose, but I like sharks, and I want them to be sharks. So, we have sharks. Next on my list, this one is probably my most recent invention, and many players, I imagine, in the future will curse me for this. I have made giant hornets. As you can see, they emit themselves from a hive block, which is honestly just a sponge. I think I placed it behind the tree there. And they very slowly emit from this block, and they constantly emit from the block. So if you leave the hive unattended, much like in real life, they will very quickly start to overpopulate and just clutter the immediate area with hornets, and the hornets themselves are incredibly aggressive. They are the meanest little guys, and they will come out and attack you, and it's not going to be fun. As you can see, they tend to swarm once they approach sufficient numbers, and if you actually attack the hive goes down rather easily, just like in real life. However, you anger the entire hive, and not hundreds actually, I think it's more like 10 hornets spawn, and they will proceed to swarm anything in the general vicinity, most often being yourself. They're fairly dangerous. They're very easy to kill individually, but individually is not what matters, because they tend to spawn in groups and will continue to generate in groups and will be dangerous in that regard. They do poison you, and along with the damage you're doing and the amount of them that are doing it, they can be quite the terrible, terrible ordeal if you don't deal with that hive immediately and have a backup plan. Other than that, aside from all the dangerous things that we've made, I also made a nice little addition that I think you'll probably enjoy, some of you guys out there. I made fish. Just regular fish. You know, has nothing to do with our fishing plugin. I would love for it to have done that, as I showed you that one time with the unique textures that I have for fishes planned. It has nothing to do with that, and I would love to try and link those together, and I'm working on it. I'm seeing what I can do. But as you can see, we have fish. You know, we're going to have aquariums, yay, and the ocean might have fish, and if the sharks don't eat them all, of course. It's going to be neat, I think, having all these guys in our oceans and about the place. I've actually worked on quite a few other things, things I'm not necessarily ready to show you. Some stuff with iron golems, some stuff with bats and parrots and all the good stuff. Quite a few things, actually. Really interested in getting all that done. I've even got some plans for some rather big and spectacular creatures that don't often get to come to the overworld. I'll leave that to your imagination. But it's going to be really interesting, I think, guys, and I hope you're looking forward to these. I've kind of gone a little crazy with the resource pack and the mobs and everything that I've been able to generate, and I'm just having a lot of fun, and I'm really hoping that when you guys get here, you will also have a lot of fun. I suppose it's time that I move away from mobs, though, and move on to some other things that we have been doing here on Block Empires. So, in the back of New Haven, you can't really see it, but you see my tavern over there, which, by the way, you guys officially, by the time that poll closed that I left on blockempires.com on the forums, you have officially decided will be the two-headed weasel. I'm very happy about that. I appreciate it, guys, that you all supported my awesome name. Yay! It's really fancy. Although, Kitty's suggestion for the Kingdom's Heart got 5 votes, and was beat out by 6, so by literally 1 vote, that made the decision. One person voted for other. I'm sorry, sir, you didn't work. But I am glad that my name stuck, and I'm glad that we get that matter out of the way. Maybe we'll have some more polls for you guys in the future. It's going to be fun. I think you're going to really enjoy this stuff coming forward. But, sorry, I got off track. Back to what we were talking about. It's really hard actually doing this without anyone else here to like bounce ideas off of and stuff, but I guess we're going to keep going like this. Back to the next item on the list. Stables. So I've been talking about stables for 3 updates now, as you probably are aware. And it's probably been a little weird. Well, we finally got them done. I got one sitting right outside of the two-headed weasel in New Haven. And in fact, this one is a very nice one. As you can see, we have a stable master. He should be on the screen there in a second. And when you go to the stable master, you have a lot of interesting abilities and capabilities that you can use, such as picking up and dropping off your horses, or your mounts in general, not just your horses. Giving well, not really giving the horses, but rather painting the horses, getting different kinds of horse colors and things like that, as well as customizing their stats upon purchase. It's probably going to be pretty interesting. I don't think we're going to have a horse protection plugin in general outside of this. So basically this becomes your method of, in various cities across Block Empires, this is going to be your method of storing and saving your horses. You'll protect them this way when you're moving about cities, when you're offline, so you don't have to like just leave them in your town and hope they don't get like killed by some random passerby or something like that. Not to say that your town wouldn't be safe, just yeah, there's a lot of benefits to this plugin, and I think it's very nice. It's very interesting. The stable master there, as you can see, he handles most of that stuff, and he probably will cost some money. I think that there is a rental fee for keeping the horse stabled, and I think there's like a pickup fee or something like that, along with the actual purchase amounts for purchasing the horses themselves, which, by the way, goes up per the stats that you're increasing. Ooh, it's quite a lot, really, and I personally have enjoyed it. Me and Sneaky were grabbing mounts from the stables a lot earlier and playing with llamas and pigs and stuff like that, and it was weird, but it was a lot of fun too, so that's going to be neat. The next item on our list as far as things we have gotten done, the bank. Again, I've gone on about the bank for about 3 updates now, but this one probably is going to be the last one. It has, for the most part, been populated and filled. You can see our villagers, not villagers, excuse me, our bankers. They were villagers at one point, but we had some weird issues with villagers despawning for some reason. You can see our bankers here. When you right-click them, they now have a banking UI. The banking UI is probably going to be a little bit more limited than what you're seeing, but as you can see, we do have tabs for banking, so you can store quite a lot of items in there. Tabs are purchasable, and you can store more than just tabs. I believe you'll also be able to store your money, and we haven't quite decided on whether you're going to be able to store your experience yet. Sorry. The last thing as far as features go, and probably the last thing for this update, because we are running out of things very rapidly. This is what happens when we don't have builders, guys. We need those builders. The last thing is the crime system. Another thing I've been going on for quite some time, but now it's actually fleshed out and I can demonstrate it to you. As you can see, when you're in New Haven, and probably various other cities in the world, if you decide to start acting a fool, and you start attacking guards, civilians, or other players, or perhaps even if you develop a reputation for attacking players outside in the wilderness, you'll very quickly find yourself in a pickle or a jail cell. As you can see, I made the mistake of running in and deciding to use the dealer wither on one of the guards, and that guard didn't take kindly to it, so he started beating me up, and then he imprisoned me. As you can see, it threw me in jail. Now, here's the thing about jail. You can leave at any time you want. I know that sounds silly, but it's kind of the nature of the plugin. However, you will be attacked by the guards, and you will get an even bigger bounty on your head because you tried to flee jail. So, you have a number of ways to actually get out of that situation. You can pay the fine, as you see me going into the menu, talking to the prison warden, and offering to pay the fine, as well as waiting out my time in prison. I don't intend for this to be like a huge, impediment to you guys. Don't worry. If you want to be the PvP bandit, you go for it. We'll also have designated areas such as arenas where you can actually fight without worrying about incurring a penalty here. But I feel like it's interesting that this kind of adds a certain, crime, kind of like a crime system that'll be really interesting. You guys back in 3.0, one of the things I remember relating to this was all this talk about wanting bandits and banditry. Well, here it is. You can be a bandit. And hopefully we're going to have a lot of things supporting that type of roleplay and PvP structure, as well as, stuff to keep you from actually going too crazy, and that's what the crime system's for. I feel like it's a nice little balance between things. Makes you actually feel like you have consequences, and they matter. I guess the last thing on our list, though, moving away from that, very excited about it, but like I said, I'm rather tired, and I have a toothache, and it's causing me to lose focus sometimes. But the last thing on our list is the recruitment efforts. I need to bring it up once more, and I want to bring it up with some very serious... in a very serious respect. We need builders. We really need builders. I can't tell you how many developers we keep getting. That's a joke, honestly. I'm happy with every person who comes aboard. and officer services. I mean, shout out to Ness, by the way. Ness, you were great. You came up. You really wanted to help us out. Sorry that didn't work out. Vad, you also really wanted to come up here and help us out. I appreciate everything you guys have offered. Same with everyone else who's really come up here and stepped up and said, hey, I really want to help you guys out. What can I do? The problem is, guys, we do need to make sure that the people who we take on as builders, they can maintain how would you say, a consistent level of quality. I mean, it's not against you guys, it's actually for you guys. It's very important. But we need them. We need them. As you can see, almost everything that we got for this weekly update has been mostly features that are plugin based and things that don't really require a whole lot of building. Mostly because we are kind of spread a little thin. We're going to keep working on it, don't get me wrong. It will get done. But honestly, if you want to see this thing come out anytime sooner, if you want to maybe see some more interesting things come out, we could use the extra manpower. So if you guys know anybody who was a good builder previously, or you know anyone who's a good builder now, hey man, send them to us. Send them to us, and if you yourself want to come on here and help us out, man, all the power to you. Definitely come talk to me. Get some builds together, do something, show them to me. I'll do everything in my power to get you aboard. We want to see you guys. We want you guys to join us. It's absolutely one of the best things I can imagine is having everyone in here working together, getting this thing done, because in the end, that's what it's going to be about. We're going to enjoy ourselves. All right. Well, I do apologize for being a little bit more gruff and maybe a little less focused and, well, being alone and less fun because, you know, when I'm alone, I tend to revert to this personality, I suppose. But that's the end of the weekly update. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and hope you guys are looking forward to some of the things we have in store for you guys. Let me know what you think and what you're looking forward to in the comments, in the forums, in the Discord. If you have any questions, any suggestions, and if you want to be a builder, absolutely come and talk to me. I will probably accept you with open arms, and I will ask you some questions, and maybe ask to see some of your builds, and I will definitely get your application up onto the Discord with all of our good other developers. But, yep, that's it. I guess the last thing is I just want to drive it home. Come see us, guys. I'm really looking forward to playing with you guys again. Later.